Greetings, humans! Greetings and welcome back to another fun-filled episode. Bear here, 29-year veteran of the woods, YouTube's #1 review show by a bear. 7 out of 8 women agree. They'd rather see a bear in the woods than a man in the woods, because that is where bears live. That'd be the woods, people. Great to have all of you here with us here today, Saturday. Oh boy, once again, there is a little apprehensive here. Got a little bit of weather coming through, so if bear just, happens to disappear out of the blue, something goes wrong with the internet, that would be why. But while we're here, while bear is alive, he's going to do the best that he can for you good people out there. Great to have all of you here with us here today. Once again, some great stuff going on. First off, people, first off, I want to say hello and thank you to all the new, possibly viewers and or subscribers out there. We do appreciate it. I kind of do this show every Wednesday and Saturdays, 8 o'clock, right here, right on time. Right on time this time, people. 8 o'clock, Wednesdays and Saturdays. Kind of a little bit of a more variety type show. We did the James Bond one. We'll do another movie here in just a little bit. But we normally do kind of comic book situations, entertainment, and every once in a while, Bear gets on his own little kick here. So we're going to start that off right up front, but I want to say, Bear tries to, how do we put this? Tries to value your time out there. You come to Bear's show, you got an hour and a half to kind of check out whatever's going on the interwebs out there. You could be watching your trash cast out there, whatever the hell's going on, Night Letters or something, I don't know. You could be over there, you could be doing a number of other things, but you're right here with Bear, so he thanks you. Want to make sure that your time is valuable, but every once in a while, Bear gets a little something in his little gristle in the old teeth there, and just can't shake it. So if you will bear with Bear for just a couple moments here, he's got a little bit of, I hate to say I told you so, but sometimes you go out there on the ledge. And you're hanging there by your thread, by your little claws there. And sometimes you don't get a whole lot of backup either. You'll be one of the very few in Comicsgate that talks about this. But let's go ahead and get right on into it. Not necessarily a I told you so, but gosh darn it, people. A little bit, just the tiniest bit of I told you so's out here. Let me bring it up here. Professional show. One of these days, here we'll do a professional show. Maybe not today, but there we go. Let's do the thing with the thing. There's that. There is you good people out there. We are rich. We are very rich in New York Post articles here today. Didn't plan on that, but that's how it just came out here. Bear with Bear here as he goes through some of this stuff. I know it's a little complicated. Just hang in here. Bear does have a point. And, you know what? There's a good reason why we're doing this at the top of the show. A lot of people might say some of this stuff like, oh, well, we'll put this at the end of the show when nobody's, when the censors are out there kind of, I want the censors, gosh darn it, censors. I want to check this out here, man. The NIH, here from the New York Post, Josh Christensen. The NIH finally admits a taxpayer-funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan. That's where the Wu flu comes from. After years of denials. It's about time. It is. Long last, the NIH Principal Deputy Director Lawrence Tabak finally admitted to Congress on Thursday the U.S. taxpayer-funded gain of research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, that'd be in China, in the months and years before the Wu flu pandemic. That's why we call it the Wu flu. Dr. Tabak asked Representative Debbie Lasko of Arizona, did the NIH fund gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology through the EcoHealth Alliance? This little worm here says, it depends on your definition of gain-of-function research. We know what we're talking about here, sir. If you're speaking about the generic term, yes, we did. Yeah, we did do that. The response comes after more than 4 years of evasions from federal public officials, including Tabak himself, and of course the Fauci as well, about the controversial research practice that modifies viruses to make them become more infectious. What could go wrong? Tabak added that this research, the generic term gain-of-function, is research that goes on in many labs around the country. I don't know if you're trying to help people out or scare the bejesus out of them. It's not regulated. Again, you're not helping here much. And the reason it's not regulated, it poses no threat or harm to anybody. Sure. Hey, there's the Bat Lady. Dr. Bryce Nichols, a professor at genetics at Rutgers and co-founder of the pandemic oversight group Biosafety Now! I told the Post the exchange was two people talking past each other. Tabak was engaging in the usual obfuscation and semantic manipulation that's so frustrating and pointless. He says, adding that the NIH bigwig was resisting accountability for risky research that can create pathogens of pandemic potential. This would be the Bat Lady, the best that we can understand. The best that we're able, because there is a whole bunch of stuff going on that's been covering up. The best that we can determine, and this lady right here, the Bat Lady, is probably the head researcher there in China that probably started, possibly YouTube, possibly the whole Wu flu epidemic that killed millions of people. Instead of addressing this directly, Tabak launched into useless response about how gain-of-function encompasses many types of experiments. And it goes on, yada yada yada. EcoHealth Alliance, whose mission statement declares it's working to prevent pandemics, had all of its grant funding pulled by HHS for the next 3 years on Tuesday. Finally, took you guys long enough here. By the way, if you're speaking about the genetic term, yes, we did. That was taken from YouTube/GOP oversight. We'll get to YouTube in just a second here, but hey, YouTube, can we get a little clarification on this? Are we allowed to say that EcoHealth Alliance did do genetic manipulation in the Wuhan province out there, or are we still allowed not to? Because your oversight here, your YouTube's oversight, says we can't, although the guy that's in charge of it and in public testimony says yes, they did. So we'd like a little bit of clarification there. EcoHealth Alliance President Dr. Peter Daszak burned that in your brain in a hearing earlier this month before the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus testified that his organization had never had and did not do gain-of-function research by definition. By definition, that is false. That is false. The old felch there. Yada, yada, yada. In October 2021 letter to Congress, Tabak had acknowledged that the NIH funded a, quote, limited experiment at the Wuhan Institute of Virology that tested whether spike proteins from natural occurring bat coronaviruses circulating in China were capable of binding to the human ACE2 receptor in a mouse model. Yeah, they might have started it, who knows. He did not describe it as gain-of-function research, but disclosed that the EcoHealth failed to report that the bat virus modified with SARS and MERS virus had been made 10,000 times more infectious in violation of its grant terms and just really common sense, really. The NIH scrubbed its website of a long-standing definition of gain-of-function research the same day that letter is sent because they're so truthful. Look at that guy. I mean, that's the face. That is the face of truth and honesty, right there. Right there. He also noted in 2021 letter, that the sequences of the viruses are genetically very distant from the Wu flu virus, but other grant proposals from the EcoHealth Alliance have since drawn scrutiny out there. Yes, indeed. Once again, third or fourth circle of hell for you, sir. For you, sir. So, anyways, the ex-NID head and White House medical advisor under President Biden was escorted by Capitol Police and his attorneys to and from the committee room for his 2 days of interviews and repeatedly dodged questions about the gain-of-function research and pandemic lockdowns, because that's what you want to do when you're being truthful out there. The NIH has never and does not now fund gain-of-function research. In the Wuhan Institute of Virology, they declared that May, which turned out to be a complete lie, people. Complete lie. We're, of course, not aware of any other sources of funding or other activities that might have undertaken outside of what our approved grant allowed, they said. The only reason that they were doing it at the Wuhan lab is because it didn't have the strict procedures that they need at some of the other labs to make sure that it doesn't leak out like it did. Like it did out there. So there we go. There is all of that. $4 million to study the emergence between 2014 and 2024. They finally got it revoked. Reinstated in 2023 and finally suspended this week. Little late out there. No credible scientist still believes this. In the fact, the wet market theory, hello Google, has ever been refuted by the world's leading coronavirus experts. This gentleman here in his testimony from January. Reuters also added, Thursday's hearing highlighted the lack of oversight for scientific research on pathogens that pose a threat to humans, making it, quote, up to the grantee to oversee themselves. I'm sure that's great. The Fauci is scheduled to answer questions about the gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab and theories of the origin of the pandemic in a public subcommittee hearing. Put on your calendar, people. June 3rd out there. June 3rd. Well, Bear, come on, man. I mean, I know it's all well and good to be talking about the Fauci and this fella right here lying their butts off, but, you know, what the heck does this have to do with us, man? I mean, come on. I mean, that's all nice and good. A couple, 4 or 5 years later after the fact, Bear, but, what the heck does this have to do with us? Well, I'm glad you asked out there. From Just the News, and, Greg Piper out here. YouTube censorship. YouTube, hello. Listen up. AI, hello. Gemini, hello. YouTube censorship of election. Wu flu claims in crosshairs of U.S. and Canadian courts. Come on, Canada. YouTube says it removed more than 35,000 misinformation videos in the EU last year. The Ninth Circus 2, questioned the idea that YouTube is, quote, is not allowed to rely on government expertise. The Quebec court greenlights a class action lawsuit. Can Bear get in on that? That's what Bear wants to know. The YouTube's censorship of the Wu flu 19 election claims isn't a problem for the company in Europe. It might be a problem in North America too. Woohoo, that's where Bear lives. The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals is weighing whether to prevent the Google-owned platform from censoring videos with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for the duration of his independent presidential candidacy. So you can be running for president and you're still censored on YouTube. While Canadian court green-lit a class action lawsuit on behalf of both censored YouTube creators and viewers denied the opportunity to watch their videos, including Bear recently. Bear's video was censored out there. Touting its effort to predict next month's European parliamentary election, YouTube disclosed in a May 9th blog post that it removed more than 35,000 purported misinformation quote-unquote videos last year. So again, that's what Bear was asking on the previous one. They kind of came out and admitted, oh yeah, we were doing gain-of-function research in the Wuhan province of China at that virology lab. It's against YouTube policy to say that. Yet, it was taken from the YouTube channel for the GOP oversight that was conducting hearings. So are you still allowed to not say it? Or can you say it? It's kind of interesting because we actually have authoritative experts out there saying that, yeah, we did do that. But yet YouTube says that you can't say that. So I'd like a little clarification, YouTube. That recalls the election integrity partnership, conceived and shepherded by the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, which needs to be just burnt to the ground. Estimating the platform, figuratively speaking, of course, estimating the platforms removed, labeled, or soft blocked. That's an interesting one. Supposed misinformation reported through ELP's system 35% of the time in the U.S. election in 2020. Our global team of reviewers combined with machine learning technology to apply these policies at scale 24/7 against hate speech, harassment, incitement to violence, and, quote, certain type of election misinformation. Our intelligence desk has also been working for months to get ahead of emerging issues and trends that could affect the EU elections, both on and off YouTube. How do they have that? How can they do that, for crying out loud? Well, apparently using artificial intelligence to further reduce views of volatile content, which was 11 out of 12 of every 11 to 12 of every 10,000 views in the fourth quarter of 2024. So 11 to 12 videos out of every 10,000, they just completely zapped. Didn't answer the question at all. Censorship of Kennedy for his statements on the Wu flu vaccines are prominent in the Twitter files and other document tranches obtained through litigation and by Congress. It's not like YouTube put that out there for everybody to see. Biden administration counterterrorism officials sought counsel from a group promoting his censorship. Apparently, you are considered a terrorist if you question, just even question the fact that, hey, they might have done gain of research in the Wuhan province, which they came out and said so just recently, but apparently you were a terrorist if you say that. Congressional Democrats tried to stop or at least limit Kennedy's testimony at a censorship. You gotta appreciate that. We're gonna censor him at a censorship hearing. Interesting. Citing his comments on the Wu flu looking ethnically targeted. What? And this slurring him as a racist and an anti-Semite. Yeah, you gotta get both in there at the same time. When Republicans blocked their effort. Democrats also pressured YouTube to reverse its decision last summer to stop suppressing supposed 2020 election information. What year is it? It's 2024. Even as it censored and throttled videos with Kennedy in there. Only said John Kennedy. The co-founder of his super PAC, RFK, claimed would beat the presumptive Democrat and Republican nominees, quote, with people just under 45 if the election were held now. I don't know about that. Two of the three judges on the Ninth Circuit showed skepticism towards Kennedy lawyer Scott Street in oral argument, even as Judge Callahan acknowledged the Supreme Court's pending decision in the White House social media censorship in Murphy versus Missouri might change the landscape for its decision. So there you go. There is that. So that'll be That'll be kind of interesting to see what kind of goes on in the future here. It looks like freaking Quebec, of all places, Quebec, Canada, getting in on the action. So hopefully we shall see here. We shall see. They authorized a class action lawsuits against YouTube and Facebook on largely the same grounds late last month. The Gazette of Montreal report both were brought by lawyer William D. out there. The YouTube class action lawsuit includes both Quebec users whose videos directly or indirectly linked to Wu-Flu were removed. And they can seek $2,000 each in damages. Can Bear get on that? I'm not Canadian. I'll accept it in salmon. You don't have to give Bear $2,000. Bear will accept that in salmon if you would like. Bear already had one video removed. We've got the archive channel. Go check out the archive channel sometime. Cool. Good stuff over there. We just put up basically the live show, just archiving it in case something crazy happens. Well, something crazy happened. They actually deleted the video on the archive channel. That Bear says, hey, there might be a possibility that there was a lab leak there in Wuhan that caused the whole Wu-Flu virus. Said it live, not a problem. Said it on the archive channel, and that one was blocked. So even through their own system that says, hey, we gotta check this out first, they still missed it. It's still live on Bear's main channel here. Not on the archive channel for some reason. Go figure. Go figure. So I'll take that 2K. Viewers can seek $1,000 each since March 15th, 2020. So there you go, people. There you go. Go check it out. Go check it out, people. Anyways, it goes on. You can check that out. Beer's got it down in the description if you want to check it out here. A little bit more about that. I don't want to keep banging in on the drum here as far as the Wu-Flu stuff, but you know, a little bit of a, you know, kind of self-pat on the back here of like, yeah, we called this. Called this a couple of years ago there, and it's a little lonely, especially in this corner of the Comicsgate YouTube web. A little lonely out there where, you know, you might have every once in a while somebody just kind of, oh, hey, I saw something on Facebook, blah, 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 blah. Beer actually went down and dug through it, went through all the vaccine trials from, I don't know, what was it, Moderna and a couple of the other places out there, Pfizer. Oh boy, Pfizer, that's going to tick them off. So anyways, there we go, people. I just wanted to take a little bit of time up front here just to talk a little bit about that. But let's jump straight into what you all came here for. Let's just jump into, well, he's only got one. Only got one here. Be the campaign update. Well, let's take a look at Titan. Take a look at Titan here real quickly. 13,491. We're still trying to push the book here. What are the good books that Bear's checked out in a little bit here? So please do go check out Titan Mouse of Might. Yes, indeed, Marc. Titan! Exclamation point. Exclamation point, sir. So you could push him. You could push him over 13.5, definitely. 201 backers. So, please do go check it out. Bear recommends. Pagan's Land Anniversary, 6. 2. I'm assuming you're wanting to say also. Pagan's Land Anniversary 6 also. There you go. 6-2 just kind of sounds weird. So there you go, people. Finally, where is it? Come on, Bear, do the thing. Professional show. One of these days, people. One of these days. From Graham Nolan out here. Return to Monster Island. If you people haven't checked it out, it is your last chance. A monster update. Hello, Compass Comics Commandos. Try saying that 3 times fast. Bear needs a drink. Holy cow. That was a tough one. Gotta wet the whistle. The stretch goal story, Kirby's cigar, is completed. Yay! The last couple pages are being colored, and they will be sent to Carlos for lettering. After that, it's just getting all the files together for the printer and getting on their schedule. So things are coming together on this end, he says. The campaign is currently in demand. However, it will be coming down and completely closed next week before the launch of Joe Frankenstein 3. So he says, sign up soon. The pre-sign up there so you can get the free mini print. We talked about that the last show there. This is the last chance to grab anything you've been waiting or missing from the Monster Island campaign. He says, have a great weekend. My friends, well, thank you, Graham. You're one of Bear's friends also out there. Thank you so much, Graham. So if you want to check it out, it is closing this week. Well, this coming up week. So do go check it out if you haven't already, people. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, Bear does know his audience out here. Let me get back to it here. Wait, no, that's not it. What the heck? Why is it? I'm stuck on that. No, not that. Okay, let me go to the thing. Why is it stuck on that? What the heck is going on here, man? What the heck? I don't know what's going on here, man. 1 second. Pardon me, people. There we go. Is that it? There we go. I don't know why that didn't work earlier. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyhow, from the New York Post. There's going to be a lot of those. And Ariel Zaber out here. McDonald's customers fume. You're fuming out there, people. At a skimpy $5 deal. Only 1 month. No thanks, they says. No thanks. No bueno. No bueno at all. Wait a minute. I am missing. Oh, I skipped ahead one. Well, let me do this one and I'll skip backwards here. I knew something was amiss here, people. Definitely amiss. Well, there is a professional stream. Thank you, Marc. Thank you so much. We endeavor to do that each time. Which, by the way, let me check the weather here. Might actually get cooked off because of the weather. Let's see. Well, give it a second. Whatever. Anyways, fuming, people. Fuming at this. McDonald's customers are fuming at the fast food chain for the skimpy offerings on its new $5 value meal. Bear just, saw a lovely couple out in the woods out there just recently here and, came up and wanted to say hello and rah! And of course they ran away. And Bear got to enjoy some of the burgers that they were cooking. So I got the old burger burps here, people. Sorry about that. The Chicago-based company will roll out the $5 combo meal on June 25th. Man, you gotta wait another month. For either a McDouble or a McChicken sandwich that comes with small fries, 4-piece of chicken McNuggets, and a small, well, really tiny, soft drink, people. The promotion will be halted at the end of July. We can only put it up there for a month. Mason Gunn, an ex-user, is there any other kind? Says, a $5 meal coming but for only 1 month. No thanks! Exclamation point. You want to lure us in and hope we'll stay, and want to pay your crazy high prices? Not a chance! Exclamation point. Another said, sadly what McDonald's doesn't seem to get is that it should be everyday price and not a special. They accused the company of making one of its least sold items because of how skimpy it is a price special. Another faults McDonald's for falling short of the competition. So McDonald's is doing a $5 meal for 1 month won't help unless they make it permanent, because Wendy's already has multiple meal deals starting at $5, they say. Another ex-user It doesn't sound much like a commitment to its customers to me. Putting it on the menu and leaving it there sounds like a commitment. Gotta put a ring on it, people. A spokesperson for McDonald's told the Post, "We know how much it means to our customers when McDonald's offers meaningful value and communicates it through national advertising. That's been true since our very beginning, and it's never more important than it is today." What the hell? What? Huh? What kind of jibber jabber was that? I don't know. The company said 90% of McDonald's franchisees are offering meal bundles for $4 or less. The high levels of inflation that have gripped the economy in recent years, I wonder how that happened, has forced companies such as McDonald's to raise prices of its menu items, like skyrocketing. At some places, McDonald's charges $18 for a Big Mac meal, as well as $7.29 for an Egg McMuffin. Ay, 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 ay. I think it's important to recognize that all income cohorts are seeking value, said the CEO in a post-earnings call. He says, they are very discriminating customers who are careful as to how they spend their dollar. We've seen that our relative superiority in affordability has declined in some markets. Oh, the poor guy. The poor fella out there. Well, I can tell you one place. If you're gonna go to a McDonald's, you might as well go all the way across the Atlantic to Italy. To Italy. That's right, people. That would be, let me see, where is it here? From the New York Post and Alex Mitchell. This was Italy's very first McDonald's, and it looks like anything but a fast food joint, they says. There you are. Look at there. There is a McDonald's in Italy. To Italy. Oops. Why am I scrolling so fast? Italy, Ronald, they ask. At what once was the heart of the Roman Empire since an American conquest, Italy's first ever McDonald's. However, the Rome location, just steps from the Spanish Step and the Piazza della Spagna, is strikingly different from any stateside Golden Arches outposts. Guests are first greeted with an array of traditional sculptures, marble walls, mosaics, Roman writings, and a plaque in honor of its opening on March 20th, 1986. Holy cow. That's almost, that's almost 30 years ago. Lately, the location has become a social media hit. This Roman McDonald's, which was not built in a day, has its own McCafe breakfast area right by the nods to ancient history, people. Let's check it out. There you go. Talk about the Golden Arches. There's some arches right there. Let's see. There is that scrumptious non-American menu items like tiramisu, donuts, and macarons are available, along with croissants and other delectable pastries that put McD's baked apple pie to shame. To shame, people. For those in search of something more savory, the vast main dining area has plenty of U.S. classics, burgers, McNuggets, fries, shakes, and the like, along with some unique treats, unique to the boot-shaped country. Wait, it's shaped like a boot? Had no idea. I mean, bears don't wear boots, so it's a little tough. A little tough to kind of picture that, people. Pardon me here. Those include chicken wings, cheese fries, stuffed and deep-fried olives. Wow. Deep-fried olives. Huh. That must be an Italy thing. Never heard of deep-fried olives before. I'd have to try that one. A mozzarella-filled Penzarelli, special McFlurry flavors, and even some beer options. Holy cow. beer might actually have to go. And of course, we can't forget the snack-sized blocks of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, aka pocket cheese? Hold on, there's pocket cheese? You get pocket cheese? I had no idea, man. Its dining room features more peaks in Roman histories, with a succession of Doric columns and circular arches. They need to paint them golden. The base of the columns contain notes on food ingredients that evoke a similarity to Leonardo da Vinci's handwritten journals. The thought would never cross my mind to eat at McDonald's while visiting Italy. It just seems wrong, says one visitor. Yet many tourists do it, and I just scratch my head, not for the food, but for its architectural design. One of McDonald's in Italy is worth visiting because it's the most elaborate McDonald's anywhere in the world, people. In the world. So there you go, people. If you want to check it out, you gotta go all the way to Italy, all the way to Rome. Get your McDonald's burger out there, people. So hopefully that looks good to some of you out there. Yes, indeed. Grab a drink. There we go. Well, from one foreign country eats to another, people. Would you believe? From the New York Post, Mexican taco truck becomes first to earn Michelin star. But the chef won't wear the coveted jacket. He says the secret is the simplicity, people. Oh, from the Associated Press. I thought this was from the New York Post. Well, whatever. Same difference, man. We'll take what we can get here, man. Take what we can get. Newly minted Michelin star chef Aruto Riviera Martinez stood over an insanely hot grill Wednesday at the first Mexican taco stand to ever get a coveted star from the French Dining Guide, and did exactly the same thing he's been doing for 20 years. That'd be searing meat, people. Though Michelin representatives came by Wednesday to present him with one of the company's heavy, full-sleeved, pristine white chef's jackets, he didn't put it on. In this tiny 10-foot by 10-foot business, the heat makes the meat, and the heat is intense, people. At Mexico City's Tacos El California de Leon, we'll go with it. In the scrubby bohemian San Rafael neighborhood, there are only 4 things on the menus, all tacos, and all of which came from the same area around the cow's rib, loin, or foreshank, people. Foreshank. The secret is the simplicity of our taco. It only has a tortilla, red or green sauce, and that's it. Wait, there's got to be meat of some kind. That and the quality of the meat. Okay, yeah, I was about to say. He is also probably the only Michelin star chef who, when asked about the beverage to the company of food, he answers, "I like a Coke." I'm assuming Coca-Cola. It's actually more complicated than that. El California de Leon is the only taco stand among the 16 Mexican restaurants given 1 star, as well as 2 eateries that got 2. Wonder if they got Montezuma's revenge at the other places. Almost all of the rest are pretty darn posh eateries. A lot of expensive seafood served in pretty shells on bespoke plates. Well, we don't need the plates for beer. I'll just take the seafood. In fact, other than perhaps one street food stand in Bangkok, El California de Leon is probably the smallest restaurant ever to get a Michelin star. Half of the 100 square foot space is taken up by a solid steel plate, a grill that's hotter than the salsa. The other half is packed with standing customers clutching plastic plates and ladling salsa. The female assistant who rolls out the rounds of tortilla dough consistently. In a way, the California de Leon is a tribute to resistance to change. It got their by doing exactly the same four things it's been doing since 1968. Congratulations. Thousands of times a day, Riviera Martinez grabs a fresh, thinly sliced filet of beef from a stack and slaps it on a super hot steel grill. He tosses a pinch of salt over it, squeezes half a lime on top, and grabs a soft round of freshly rolled tortilla dough into the solid metal slab to puff up. Man, they're really trying to sell that one. After less than a minute, he won't say exactly how long because that's a secret, he flips the beef over with a spatula, flips the tortilla, and very quickly scoops the cooked fresh tortilla onto a plastic plate, places the beef on top, and calls out the customer's name who ordered it. Thanks, AP, for that great description there. Any sauces, the fiery red or equally atomic green, are added by the customers. There's no place to sit at sometimes of the day, no place to stand either, because the sidewalk in front of the business was taken over by street vendors hawking socks and batteries and cell phone accessories years ago. Not that you would really want to eat inside the tiny taco restaurant. The heat on a spring day is overwhelming, people. The heat is one of the few secrets Riviera Martinez would share. The steel grill has to be heated to an astounding 680 degrees. I asked how it felt to get a Michelin star. He said, "Esta chino, esta party," or "It's neat, it's cool." The prices are quite high by Mexican standard. A single generous, let me try that again. A single, generous but not huge taco costs nearly $5. Not 5 pesos, people, $5. That's American money. But many customers are convinced it's the best, if not cheapest, in the city. There you go. "It's the quality of meat," said Alberto Moniz, who's been coming here for about 8 years. "I've never been disappointed, and now I'll recommend it with even more reason, now that it has a star." There you go. The chef's son, Alan, who was waiting for a beef taco alongside his father. Oh, wait, no, that was the customer. The customer's son, who was waiting for a beef taco alongside his father, noted that this is a historic day for Mexican cuisine, and we're witness to it, people. We are witness to it. The very first taco stand in Mexico City that's been set up for a Michelin star, people. Michelin star. Have it with a Coke. Coca-Cola, people. Coca-Cola out there. There you go. Even with the little dainty pinky out there when you're eating your taco. It's so classy, you gotta have the little pinky out. Gotta have the old pinky out there, people. Yes, indeed. Alright, well, we go from one great news story. Bear knows his audience out here. Knows that they love food. And the other thing that they just constantly ask for. Bear, we need more. We need more stories about AI. Well, I'm so glad that I'm here to help. So glad. From Variety. Thank you, Marc. Thank you. How generative AI has entered concept art creation, and why it's a slippery slope, people. From Variety. They don't tell us who. I'm sure they're a good person out there. Unless it's written by AI, and that's just kind of a head scratcher there, man. That's really going through the looking glass. Except salmon, who the hell would eat that stuff? Bear would. Bear will take any excess salmon that you have. A generative AI is beginning to enter aspects of concept art creation, though its use is conspicuously being limited. Consciously being limited. Concept art in film and TV can include designs for characters, environments, sets, buildings, vehicles, costumes, and props. Put a period there for crying out loud, Variety. Beer only has so much breath here. And is most often needed on fantasy, sci-fi, and action projects. It's true, people. That's true. You don't want to come up to the set the day of and be like, how are we going to shoot this? Not really how that worked on either storyboards or animatics. Some concept artists specialize in keyframes. Pardon me, people. Creating digital paintings that visualize specific shots of pivotal moments that can be captured on screen. Didn't I just say that in far fewer words? Variety. Who's the expert here? Beer or Variety? Many concept artists have 3D modeling talents at varying skill levels. Now, rather than relying on stock photos, searching the web for images or previous films and TV references, AI images are starting to be used as the initial design reference point. Design reference material artists use as a creative style. Didn't I just... Come on, Variety. Button it up here, man. Button it up here. Bear can do a lot better. Literally, Bear could write for Variety. They would just have to pay him in... See, Marc, they just have to pay him in salmon. That's it, man. That's it. AI imagery is being used to facilitate and speed up the communication back and forth between... What the hell is a stakeholder? I mean, Bear understood. You put a stake in Bear's claws, he's going to hold on to that stake. But what the hell's a stakeholder? I have no idea, man. Back and forth between stakeholders on a production toward aligning faster on the design concept or art direction before an artist renders the final assets themselves in detail. So they don't want to go through the whole process and say, we need to change this or that. They're trying to come up... Think of it as like a sketch before you actually do the main piece of art there. This process is inherently iterative. Inherently iterative. Typically, having a concept artist go through multiple rounds of feedback and revisions to sketches. A rapid iteration with a generative AI image tool can compress this process into a day versus several days to weeks. I doubt that because, I mean, like, the people aren't always on call, you know? I mean, like, a lot of the producers are having lunch or, casting couches, all this other stuff. So, they're not, like, waiting around for the AI or even the artist there to, where's that art? They'll just say, give it to me tomorrow or whatever. So, it'll speed it up. They're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. Similarly, studios have begun providing VFX studios with batches of AI images rather than explaining a concept. Oh boy. I'm sure that'll work out great. AI imagery is also beginning to appear in pitch decks. That's interesting. Well, not really, but though its entry here suggests a more substantive replacement for concept artist role and creative process. Maybe. I mean, if you're already in the artistic space, you probably already know somebody that can do some halfway decent drawings. So I don't know if that's entirely true, but anyways. Earliest stage concept art starts in the blue sky period, they call it, before a production has received a green light. Again, it's, hey, we need money from this producer, or we're a production company and we're going to a studio. We would like to start work on, whatever, fantasy TV series. Okay, let's come up with, what does the castle look like? What is the, I don't know, the dragons or the orcs or whatever, what do they look like? Come up with kind of a general idea of what it looks like. Take it to your producer or your studio out there. Hey, this is what we got, kind of the idea behind it. This is the people we got behind it, yada, yada, yada. Would you consider giving us money to get continued there? That's what they're talking about here. So just kind of the idea. It's not really kind of nailed down in any way. Artists are brought in and work together with production designers or directors to brainstorm, find references, and develop the look. I just said all this. The artist creates sketches and goes through similar hot-cold rounds of iteration before finally rendering assets. Now, fewer artists might be brought in on Blue Sky period, which for some is their bread and butter. as production designers may be using generative AI tools in place of an artist to develop materials for their pitch decks. It's interesting because when they took their survey here, let me see if I can find it. When they took their survey here, I mean, like, let's see, theater and performing arts, AI will harm people, 27%. I don't really know, 52%. So over half either don't know or don't want it. 20% do want it out there, so I don't know. Software development, sure. Artwork, maybe not. Finally, studios are also likely to be exploring or activating opportunities to fine-tune pre-trained image models with art assets in order to create smaller scale models capable of producing outputs similar to the created dataset. Yeah. Studio interests have likely focused on fine-tuning image models with existing franchise IP to amplify and accelerate franchise art creation. Output images from the fine-tuned model would be consistent with the art style of the original IP. Okay, what they mean by that is, let's just say you have, I don't know, Spider-Man. You come out with a new Spider-Man movie, you want to get some trailers, maybe you want to put some stuff out for, your McDonald's Happy Meal. Maybe you want to put advertisement on the side of the bus or, up on the skyscraper or whatever. You can't. The hard thing with the AI in this space right here is a lot of that stuff has been trained on images that are either copyrighted or they don't know the provenance of it. When they don't know either or if maybe they do know that it's coming from some artist out there, they can't use it or they don't want to use it because of fear of being sued. They might be saying, hey, so and so drew, an idea of Spider-Man and put it up on the web, and then the AI thing got to it, and they used his specific, I don't know, the way he's slinging web or something like that, and brought it into their concept, and now they're actually using somebody's idea that they have without it being compensated for the copyright. So what they're doing is they're saying, okay, we already have all these assets here. Let's train the AI on the assets that we already have, so we know when it outputs something, unless it's hallucinating, when we put out something, we know that it's actually coming from this. We own the IP, so we already know where it's coming from. So, hopefully we're not going to sue ourselves here. So that's kind of what they're trying to do. Yet, even as AI enters some aspects of concept art creation, studios are still likely to be restricting the use of generative AI imagery as final art assets. Use remains limited for two main reasons. And they go on: copyright legality, there you go, and performance. Design quality from image models remains a challenge. Though editing features are improving, a lack of granular control over AI outputs is still a notable barrier for use in high production value content creation. So, for example, we actually had, let me see if I still have it here. I think, do I still have it? There we go. This is the Sora AI, the video generation model. So they came up and they says, okay, we want a image of a woman walking down the streets of Tokyo at night. And this is what it came up with. It can only do about, 10 seconds, maybe 30 seconds at the very most. So let's just say you want to have that same thing, but you want to have it from multiple camera angles. So we want to see her walking down the street at one angle, maybe an overhead shot or something like that. It's really hard to get the same output over and over and over again. The AI will change little bits here and there. They might change some in the background, so it's not consistent. You can't say the same, hey, I want a woman walking down the street in Tokyo at night. It doesn't come out with the same image again and again and again. It changes it up. So you really can't, as they say, granular control. You can't really fine tune it just yet out here, but we shall see. We shall see how it goes out there. Let's see. Depending on how AI is used in the pipeline, artists describe the possibility of degrading quality. That what generative AI produces to approximate a director's creative vision will be deemed good enough by those with an untrained perception. For example, a skilled character designer understands anatomy. An artist designing a spaceship understands industrial machinery. A keyframe artist understands perspective and lighting, so a shot can be replicated by the director of photography. And that's what they're having a problem with. Finally, while some artists in the studio art departments or VFX may now be tasked with using these tools in aspects of their jobs, many of the communities oppose them on principle, like we said here. Let me find it here. There we go. On principle, knowing there worked trained image models now being used in its place. Concept artists are expected to be among the most and earliest exposed to job reduction and ethical harm due to generative AI, people. So there you go, people. That was from, oops, gosh dang it, Variete, and it doesn't say, let me see if it'll do it here. Audrey Schomer out here. Gotta give credit where credit is due out here. Yes, indeed. Well, I do not see P-Money out here. This story was, what the heck? Was for him. Get the heck out of that. There we go. This story was for him, but we'll play along. We'll play along, people. We've got this here. I want you in the audience out there to picture in your mind out here. Let me get off of this. I want to picture in your mind out here. We've got the very first portrait of King Charles III in England. Well, Great Britain. I don't know. Whatever the difference is. I don't know. Whatever. Picture in your mind. I mean, throughout the years, they've had the kings and the queens, and they got the little portrait up in the castle or in the art gallery or whatever. You know, you see them there kind of standing, or maybe in a portrait looking off to the side, or, you know, hold on to a horse or something like that. Okay, so picture in your mind. I want you to picture in your mind King Charles III and his official portrait here. Let's while you're picturing that in your mind, let's get to it here. From Jonathan Ayano. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The portrait of His Majesty King Charles III, unveiled by King Charles III at Buckingham Palace just the other day, people. Bears are the biggest threat to the new AI overlords, though. Go after them first. No, not at all. Not at all. Don't listen to that man and or woman. We're going to assume it's a man. We're going to assume Marco Forianthi is all man out here. Okay, picture in your mind, people. In your mind. King Charles III. The official portrait of King Charles III as a monarch has been unveiled by their majesties? Their majesties. The king and queen in a ceremony at Buckingham Palace. Commissioned by the Drapers Company. I guess they make the drapes. It depicts him larger than life and wearing the uniform of the Welsh Guards, of which he was made a colonel in 1975. I'm sure he earned that. Jonathan had 4 sittings, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 sittings with the king, the subject they call him, between June 2021 and November 2023. I hope back in 2021 they were both wearing masks. At Highgrove and later at Clarence House. Working on it in between his London studio. Wait a minute, when did the Queen die? Did she just pass recently? What the heck are they doing his portrait when he ain't even king? Interesting. Alright, picture in your mind, people. In your mind. The portrait will be on public Public view from the 16th of May until the 14th of June at Philip Mound Gallery. We all know where that is. The 18th and 19th, Pall Mall in London, Southwest 1, before finally moving to Draper's Hall in the city. In the city, apparently. I don't know which city, but that would be the city out here. All right, people. You've had it in your mind here. I want you to have it in your mind. King Charles III, official portrait. Okay, you've got it. You've got it in your mind, right? Got it in your mind. All right, on a 3, on a 2, on a 1. King Charles III. King Charles, the official portrait. King Charles. El Trace. In the portrait, the king's military regalia subtly fades into the background along with everything else, exemplifying Jonathan's signature painting style, where he places greater emphasis on capturing the character and essence of his subjects rather than replacing their literal appearance. Can an artist say that the king is his subject? Is that how that works? As a portrait artist, you get this unique opportunity to spend time with and get to know a subject. So I wanted to minimize the visual distractions and allow people to connect with the human being underneath. Yeah. The vivid color of the glazes in the background echo the uniform's bright red tunic, not only resonating with the royal heritage found in many historical portraits, but also injecting a dynamic contemporary jolt into the gene with its uniformly powerful hue, providing a modern contrast to more traditional descriptions. The butterfly approaching King Charles' shoulder, in the portrait adds a layer of narrative depth, they say, symbolizing both his known advocacy for environmental causes and his personal transformation from apparently a worm into a butterfly. The monarch butterfly is believed to have been named after an English king, possibly William of Orange, due to its distinctive color. And this migratory species is already one of the most affected by the climate change because of alterations in spring temperatures. The poor guy. The artist explains primarily a symbol of the beauty and precariousness of nature. It's true, people. It highlights the environmental cause the king has championed for most of his life, and certainly long before they became a mainstream conversation. But it also serves a compositional purpose. But it also serves a compositional purpose, providing a visual contrast to the military steeliness of the uniform and sword. In the context of art history, a butterfly often the symbol of metamorphosis and rebirth, and thus also parallels the king's transformation from prince to monarch during the period the portrait was created. So they killed the queen so they could have its. You heard it here first, people. Heard it here first. The blood of the former queen was used to paint this red monstrosity. Possibly. Maybe not, but would you believe that it would? I would. Bear would. So there you go, people. Look for your memes in the future. Future memes out there with your... Bear could have put his little head on top of there. That would have looked good. Black and red, I think that would have had a nice contrast there. What the hell is going on here, man? Modern art. Even Marc says, oh yeah, this travesty. I guess you've seen it before. Bear is trying so desperately to bring some class and culture to you heathens out here. And you just aren't appreciating it. Well, I guess we could say it wasn't AI art. I guess we can go with that, people. So there you go. Not too bad. Not too bad at all out there, people. Yes, indeed. So there we go. There is the king. I was really hoping P Money would show up. Tell us how it really is. He prays to the king every day or every week or something like that. So you'd figure you'd have some sort of comment or suggestion on what the hell's going on here, man. But there you go. Looks like him surrounded in Dante's Inferno, says Marc. Well, that's very that's an interesting take. Very interesting take here. Dante's Inferno. King Charles burning at the gates of hell, possibly, is one interpretation. One interpretation. There's at least one person lurking. Always. Either Russian bots or lurkers out here. That's why we do. That's why we thank them every time. That's why we thank them every time out here. Well, that actually kind of gets Bear. Back to the fact here, people. Back to the fact here. Almost did. Bear almost did another read along and review with the Inglorious Rex. I figured, number one, I'm still working on the box open. Number two, people probably haven't all gotten it yet, so I don't want to spoil that too much. So maybe next time we'll see. We will see. Is Peabody a robot? That is a thought. That is a thought out there, Marc. That is a thought. Lindy is the looky-loo. I knew it. Lindy. No, you just say hello, Lindy. It's fine. We're all here to have fun together, Lindy. I hope you enjoyed the show. I mean, we have a Woo Flu. We had food, AI, fine art. A very wide range topics here to discuss here today. Well, thank you, Lindy. Thank you for coming by and saying hello. Saying hello. All right, anyways, all this. I didn't mean to wrap it up so soon here, but such a classy, non-professional show, says Marc. There you go. Autocorrect beer. Well, there's a lot of autocorrecting here, Lindy. There's a lot. Beer sometimes has trouble reading sometimes. You don't see it, but Bear is wearing his reading glasses. Had to check that out. The last time Bear did it, it's getting a little hard on the old eyes here. Bear's just getting old. What can I say, people? What can I say? Well, I will say, I want to thank everybody, including Lindy, lurking as she was. Marc as well. We have no idea where P-Money is, but I want to thank everybody out there, including, as we always say, our lurkers. Right, Marc? Our lurkers and Russian bots. We appreciate each and every one of you. We try to do this Wednesdays and Saturdays, right here at 8 o'clock. Bear appreciates you. You could be watching pretty much anything else right here with Bear. Appreciate it so very much. So very much. But you know what, people? All this talk of bloody portraits, McDonald's in Italy, Michelin star taco restaurants has made Bear hungry. So he's going to head back into the woods. So until next time, people. Grrr. Oh, I burped. There we go. Grrr. Grrr. There we go. There we are. Good night, everybody.